Okay, welcome, good day traders. Welcome to today's episode of my weekly Forex Forcast. This is Ononako Toshku speaking for Lazarus Capitals. As usual, guys, I'm not going to waste your time because I came a bit late, because of some errands I was trying to run today. So quickly, we'll be going into the analysis of this week. As you all know, I trade the BTC USD and the Euro USD for now. So people will be wondering why just the BTC USD and the Euro USD. Guys, you need to understand that in this market, less is more. The earlier you focus on one or two pair and master it, the better for you. Guys, look, it's just like you are trying to be a professional footballer, and instead of you to focus on playing football, you are playing football, you are playing basketball, you are playing tennis, you are playing hockey, you are playing rugby. Guys, you must focus on football and master football the same way. So people think it's not only moving from one strategy to the other, it's also moving from one PS to the other. When you are moving today, you are trading GBP USD, next one you are trading Euro USD, next one you are trading gold. So people will say that there's no setup on Euro USD, that's why I went to gold. Guy, for now, focus on one pair. When you master that pair, you see all those professionals that have 10 pairs or 20 pairs that they are looking at, they are already masters in the game. For you that is trying to have a breakthrough in this business, focus on one pair. The day you do not have setup, wait. The problem is waiting. If you can wait, if you can be patient, you'll begin to understand this game. So today we're looking at the euro, we'll be looking at the BTC USD and the Euro USD. So let us just go right into the chart. I told you guys that the BTC USD is still in a downtrend. For me, the only time I'm looking for the BTC USD is to sell. And I told us last week that we'll be looking to sell the BTC USD from, let's go to the daily time frame. We are on the 4-hour time frame. Now we're on the daily time frame. I spotted a level at this point. And I told us that I'll be waiting for the price to pull back to this area. We saw that area on a daily time, on a weekly time frame. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Yeah, cool. This is the area. If you are seeing this video today and you saw our last week analysis, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and drop me some comment. I told us that I can see that this level is acting as a support. I expect the market to use that as a resistance from there, come back down. This is the weekly time frame. Let's go back to the daily time frame. This is that level on the daily time frame. This is that level on the daily time frame. Price is here. Price is at that area now. Support, come back to act as a resistance from there, go down. So I told us that if price pulls back to this support that would turn to resistance from there, and I'm going to short the BTC USD to take the price down. And this week we saw the price coming back to that area. Hold on a second please, guys. Okay, cool. So this week we saw the price coming to that area, and we saw the sellers come back in to use that area as a resistance area to take the price down. So this is that area on the daily frame. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So price came to that resistance area, and from there the sellers came in. When the sellers came in, we joined the sellers at this point after this bearish candle close. Then we held on to our sell. Though we can see that the buyers are trying to fight. Because guys, I told you guys, this trading is a battle. The sellers will come in, the buyers will come, and my job as a mercenary commander is to ensure I fight alongside the forces I know they have the high chances of winning. I can see that the sellers are in control. The sellers' price is going to the downside. The sellers are still in control. I wait for the buyers to come to the stronghold of the sellers. The sellers came in, I joined them. Even though, we've been in some profit and we can see the buyers coming in. My stop loss is here. If the price wants to go and take me, I'll let it go and take me out. So, we've sold the Btcusd. We'll be waiting to see how, things turn out. We are holding the Btcusd. Like I told us that I'm expecting the sellers to continue this ride to the downside. Do you understand? So, we got that entry last week. At this point, we sold the Btcusd after we saw this bearish candle close, and the market is the buyers are trying to see how they can fight, but we are still holding, because we expect the sellers to hold on to this battle. In the coming days, what did I expect to happen for the Btcusd? I expect that in the coming days the Btcusd will continue to go down, even though we are seeing the buyers trying to come in. I'm seeing that there's a trend line from this point. We can see a touch share price broke below it, and we can see the buyers trying to come in. I can see prices are broken out of this trend line. So in the coming days, I'll be looking at there's a resistance area here. There's a resistance area here. Okay, cool. There's a resistance area here. Price is trying to. So this forward candle have not closed. Guys, there's something I told you before. Please, because the Btcusd is 24/7, it's moving on Saturday and Sunday, does not mean on Saturday and Sunday you come and take entries. Please, do not trade the Btcusd on Saturdays and Sunday. Saturdays and Sunday, do not look for entry on the Btcusd. Please, I beg you. So you can see that the market is still moving on Saturday, but don't look for entry on Saturday and Sunday. So there's a resistance here. Price closed below it. Buyers are coming in, but I'll still be holding. Our stop loss is here. If it comes here to take us out, fine. I expect the sellers to hold on to this market and continue the bearish move. We've already taken an entry on the Btcusd. In the coming days, I expect the sellers, after the buyers have tried to, if the buyers cannot break above this resistance area, I expect the sellers to continue this move down. If you have not entered this Btcusd, please see, let me show you something. If you've not entered the Btcusd, wait for price to break below. Come and draw another trend line here. Guys, I told us, I don't use the trend line for my entries, but for the sake of my viewers, I'll just be doing this trend line thing. If you've not entered the Btcusd, there's a resistance here. The buyers are trying to fight to see if they can close above this resistance area. If you have not entered the Btcusd, wait for the sellers to close below this area. Wait for the sellers to close below this area. If the sellers close below this area, you can join. But in the coming days, I'm still expecting this consolidation to continue up to this area. This shopping move will continue all through today, tomorrow being Sunday, and by Monday, I'm expecting the sellers to close below here. The sellers close below here. If you have not, you did not join this move here, if the sellers close below here, you can join. I'm still expecting this bearish move to continue. I don't have much to say about the Btcusd. You guys already know my trading strategy. My trading strategy is very simple. I'm a trend pullback continuation strategy. What it means is that once I come into the market, every week on Saturdays is when I do my analysis. I want to identify the direction of the market. If the market is bearish, it means that in the coming week, the only thing I'm looking for is to sell. Now, once I've identified the direction of the market to be bearish, I know that in the coming week, the only thing I'm looking for is to sell. Now, I want the market to pull back to a resistance area. Once the market pulls back to a resistance area, I wait for the sellers to come in. Once I see the sellers coming in, I join them. I also want to confirm this area if it's in line with my Fibonacci 5061.8. When the market is still in a balanced state, it gives me Fibonacci 5061.8 to align with my resistance area. The sellers come in, I join them. If the market is expanding, I might not get Fibonacci 5061.8. I may get a 38.2 area. or the next key resistance area. So once the sellers come in, I joined it. Like I told us that the trend pullback continuation strategy is exactly what trading is. And what is trading? Trading is not different from I look for a product that is in demand. I identify how much people are willing to pay for that product. Then I find out how I can get that product at a cheaper price. Once I see how I can get that product at a cheaper price, then I confirm if the people who need the product, they still need the product. If they still need it, I buy it and I sell to them. That is all what trading is all about. And that is why the trend pullback continuation aligns with this idea. That is why I adopt the trend pullback continuation strategy as my strategy. Do you understand? Identify a product that is in demand. Identify how much people are willing to pay for that product. Find out how you can get that product at a cheaper price. And find out if the people who need the product, if they are still interested in the product. If yes, you buy it, sell to them. The difference is your game. That is what trading is all about. It is very, very important that you must identify that people are willing to people are still interested in that product. For instance, we know that the real estate is a good business. The real estate is a good business. People always are interested in buying lands, buying houses. But can you go and buy a property in the present Gaza? Can you go and buy a property in Gaza? You cannot. Even if they give you a property in Gaza at a cheap price, you cannot buy property in Gaza because people are not interested. In Sambisa Forest, if you are in Nigeria, Sambisa Forest, can you go and buy a property in Sambisa Forest? Even if they give you the property at a cheap price, you cannot buy. So you must find out if those who need the product are interested in buying. So that is why you must wait for your market participants to come in. Do you understand? So once the market is trending, I use the trend pullback strategy, whereby once I confirm the direction of the market for the Btcusd, the market is bearish. I wait for it to come to a resistance area. From there, I wait for market participant to come in, and I join them. Now, so for the Btcusd, there's no much stories on the Btcusd. I told us I've done this analysis. If you are new to this channel, go and see the analysis of last week and the upper week. The Btcusd have been bearish. What you are waiting for, market pull back to resistance area. We wait for market participants to come in and we'll join them. We did this analysis last week. The market gave us an entry. We took the entry. Now we are waiting for the market to do its thing, guys. And that is another problem, another thing with this trading. You must be patient. Patient to wait for your setup. Patient to allow your setup to work out. Many people will enter a trade, and when the market is in the drawdown, they will exit because of fear. Or when the market is choppy, they will exit. You must be patient for your trade to set up. You must also be patient for your trade to work out. So we've entered the Btcusd now. We are waiting. It has to continue down or it stop us out. This is our stop loss is here. I'm still expecting the Btcusd to come down here. Do you understand? I'm still expecting the Btcusd to come down here. So whichever way, we are waiting to see. So, if you've not joined the Btcusd, when it close below this trend line, you can join. Do you understand? But that will not be today. Today is Saturday. While I'm doing this recording on a Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. Don't look for entry on Saturday. Don't look for entry on Sunday. For Monday, when the market will open, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can look for your entry. Okay. Let's move over to the next pair, which is the Eurusd. Cool. So for the Eurusd, let's go to the daily time frame. I told us that I have two strategies. One is the trend pullback strategy. The other one is the ranging strategy, whereby once the market is ranging, I wait for price to come to a support area or a demand area. From there I buy, or a supply or a resistance area. From there I sell. And when the market is ranging, it goes from demand to supply, from supply to demand, meaning that if the market is bouncing off from a demand area, its next target is a supply area. And when the market leaves a supply area, its next target is a demand area. So when the market is ranging, because the market can either do two things. It's either it's trending to the downside or to the upside, or the market is ranging. So, and that is why as a trader, you need to have more than one strategy, because if you are only a trend pullback strategy, trend pullback trader, when the market is ranging, you will do nothing. And because of a lot of participants who have in the market today, sometimes the market will be trending, sometimes it will be ranging. And if you don't have a strategy to trade the ranging market, you will not be doing anything when the market is ranging. So it's important that as a trader you have like one or two strategies to be able to attack the market, whichever phase the market is. Now for the BTCUSD, I can see that the BTCUSD is trending to the downside. But for the EURUSD, the EURUSD have been ranging for a very long time. This is the daily time frame. This is August. Since August of last year, the EURUSD have been ranging. So if you don't have a strategy to trade the ranging market, at this point you will not be doing anything. Do you understand? So for the EURUSD, we'll be using a ranging strategy. Now this is a demand area. Let's take this area, and this is a supply area. The market has been ranging in this area since last year. Okay, August. So that's almost like 10 months now. Now, let's expand this for us. So, the market left this demand area. It left this demand area. It went up. It got here. It changed its character. It started coming down. It got here. It changed its character. Started going to the upside. It got to this area at 1.20799. Use it as a supply area and start coming down. It came down to this demand area from where it went up before, and from there it respected this demand area and started going up. From here it started going up. Now, as it has left this demand area, it's supposed to come back to the supply area. It was going up. It got to this area. It changed its character and started coming down. Now, what I understand about the trend pullback, or about the ranging market, is that when the market have left a supply area, this is a supply area. When the market have left a supply area, it's going to come back to a demand area. And when it has left a demand area, it's going back to the supply area. Now, as long as I've known that the market have left the demand area, all what I'm looking for is to buy this market. Now, last week I was telling us that these sellers that came in here, I told us that, guys, see, if these sellers are serious, I want to see them closing below this demand area. If the sellers can't close below this demand area, I'm not interested in trying to buy and trying to sell this market. If the sellers cannot close below this demand area, I'm not interested in trying to sell this market. Only if they close below this demand area, then I'll wait for my sellers to come back. I'll wait for my buyers to come back. If they cannot break above, they get here and they stop, and the sellers come back. This is the only area where I will be selling the EURUSD. From here, I'll take the price down, guys. And I told us that, guys, I don't know, is there any of you here that used to watch this sword film? You know, this old film this war film that they act, that they use sword, those old films. You see how, for instance, how many of you have watched Troy? You know the Troy. You see how the Trojans protected their city from the war. I consider this demand area as the wall to the city. And I consider myself as a mercenary commander. And I told us that, guys, see, I'm a mercenary commander. I have troops. My troop is my capital. I do not have allegiance to any side. The trading market is a battle between the buyers and the sellers. I am a mercenary commander. I can only deploy my troops to any side I know they have the high probability of winning the battle. Now, these areas is a stronghold of the sellers. of the buyers, sorry. And I told us that I cannot deploy my troops to the stronghold of the buyers. This is like a war to the city. You know, in those olden days, they defend their city. They fight to the last in the war, because they know once the war is breached, their city is gone. This is the war to the city. The buyers will fight to the last here. I cannot deploy my troops at this point to fight alongside the sellers. I will wait for them. If I'm to fight alongside the sellers, they have to break into the city of the buyers. Then I wait for a pullback. If the buyers cannot break back up, they got here and they stop. The sellers come in, I'll join them. This is some of the analogies I use for trading. Guys, you see this market is a very dangerous game. Trading. Don't worry, guy. This is my 5 years of trading. This game is very dangerous. It is the most difficult way to make easy money. If you are not careful, this market will frustrate you. This market will make you, this market will ruin you. That's just the thing. Guys, forgive me for sounding this way, but guys, if you understand what I've been through in this game, you will know why I'm sounding this way. This is the only way where I'll be joining the sellers. Break into the city of the buyers. Breach their war. Because guys, at this war where the buyers have a stronghold, there are snipers, there are artilleries, there's missiles, their allied team, the generals, the officers are there. Guys, as a mercenary commander, I cannot deploy my troops at this point. If the sellers are serious, let them break below. When they pull back, I'll join them here. I will only be fighting alongside the buyers, because I know there's high chances of them defending their war. I told us that no matter how strong the sellers are, if they are not closing below this demand area, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. They are not serious. So last week, we saw the sellers came in. They came in strongly, They were coming down. The buyers, these buyers who were buying this market here, they were panicking, and as they were closing their position, we saw the bearish candle getting strong. It got here, and we saw the buyers, we saw I'm seeing the buyers coming back in, but the market closed with this daily candle. That is that. I'm not moved by this daily candle. I need more information if I'm to buy this market. Just because you are expecting the market to buy from an area does not mean you just enter blindly. And guys, for the trend line traders, you have a trend line here that can guide you before you execute. I don't use the trend line for execution. I only just use it to see how the trend line traders are thinking. So now, for the Euro USD, I'm still bullish. Price is at the stronghold of the buyers at the demand area. Now, I was expecting two things in the market. I can see that. Let me go to the line chart. I can see that from this area, there is a resistance area here. There's a support area that will turn to resistance. At this point, there's a support here that will turn to resistance. Let's go to the forward time frame. At this point, there's a resistance area here. Let me reduce this a little. Come down here. Cool. So now, in the coming days for the Euro USD, I'm still bullish. This is what I'll be waiting for. I want these buyers to come to this resistance. This resistance now, this support that will turn to resistance is a stronghold of the sellers. If the price gets here, I want the sellers to come in. If the sellers are still strong, I want them to close below this area. But if they get anywhere in this place and they stop and the buyers come back in here, I'll be joining the buyers at this point to take the price up. So for the Euro USD, I'm still bullish for the Euro USD. I will not be selling the Euro USD. I will not be bearish on the Euro USD unless I see price closing below this demand area. So if the sellers come back in, they get to this anywhere in this zone, because all this zone now is a stronghold of the buyers. If they get anywhere in this zone and they fail to close below, if the sellers come back from here and they fail to close below, they get here and they get weak, the buyers come in. At this point, I will join the buyers here to take the price to the upside. So for the Euro USD, I'm still bullish. I wait for the sellers to come, then I wait for the buyers to come, and the sellers come down. If they are serious, I want to see them closing below here. If they fail to close below here, they get here anywhere in this zone, they stop, and the buyers come in. I will join the buyers from here and take the price to the upside. I'll take the price to the upside. Okay, so that is that for today's trading. So for the Euro USD, I'll be looking to buy from this area at 1.14569. Stop loss can be below here at 1.13985. Your TP1 can come back here at 1.16089. Then TP2 at 1.12038. For the BTC USD, if you have not taken an entry on the BTC USD, if you have not taken an entry on the BTC USD and you want to still sell the I'm still bearish on the BTC USD despite what is happening here. Wait for the market to close below this trend line that is here. I'm still expecting a shopping move at this point. It close below this area. Like, let me show you guys. See the market. See the. I'm still expecting for the market to shoppy today being Saturday, tomorrow being Sunday. By Monday on Tuesday, I see the sellers closing below this trend line. You can join from here. Then stop loss can be at this area 64,511 or 64,511. That's your TP. Your TP can come to this area at 58,957. Then if you are using TP2, you can leave the TP2 at 50,000. You can stay at 40,000. You can stay expecting the BTC USD to continue down. Guys, thank you so much. If you have been, watching me up to this end, I appreciate you. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop me a comment. Let me know your biggest takeaway. Until I see you in my next video on the next week, God bless you.